so we're going to be talking about this little situation here today that just stumbled across like very, very randomly onto my, I don't even know how, probably Twitter, honestly. But as you guys can see, the title here is, why did Lush UK give money to an anti-trans group? So that's pretty self-explanatory where we're at. Also, apparently a video for The Bachelor's most awkward hometown dates, because that's a thing. Now there is, like, this comes from a different article called Pink News, and Pink News, unfortunately, like, they're like, you can't look at our website if you have ad blocker on, so like whatever. So we're just not going there. So we're going to this one. So I just figured we'd go through this article a little bit. There's another article here from Mary Sue, which kind of gives a little more detail, I think, as well. So this is apparently just for Lush UK. So Lush in the US is vibin', but that's still, it's still kind of the same company, all in all. All right, so beauty brand Lush, which prides itself on natural ingredients and, I can't read today, and being a general friend of the planet, has reportedly also been a friend to Women's Place UK, an anti-trans women's rights group in the United Kingdom. So I do not know much about this group, if this is a prominent thing. If we do have some British viewers here in the chat, feel free to elaborate on what this is. According to Pink News, which is the article that I can't click on because they won't let me read their stuff, financial statements on Women's Place UK website show a £3,000 donation for event organizing from Lush. The money was generated through the company's Charity Pot initiative, which anyone who has been to a store would be familiar with. Charity Pot donations are made possible by the sale of creams and washes designated by special packaging, often featuring animals in need or the ocean, and portions from the sale of those items go towards grants that Lush issues throughout the year. So, I'm going to go ahead, let me see if I can, internet really quick. Yeah, I'm very bad at that. Let me go to Lush's website really fast just so we can take a look at this. Obviously I get Lush USA because I'm in the US. Boom, there we go. So this is a Charity Pot. It's literally right on the front. Shop Charity Pot. There we go. So this Charity Pot, does it say where it's going to this time? So here are some of their ethical campaigns that they're going to share and talk about. So for the most part, it's a nice thing. I think it's great. Oh, wait, go back. I just saw. Stop it, Lush. Trans rights are human rights. So at least Lush USA, I guess, is on this shit. Yeah, right. It's right there. I just kind of did this little number as and then I saw read more and I just kind of did that little notion. So I skipped all of these. But yeah, there it is right there. So Lush USA seems to be doing okay. They seem to be vibing with this. One of apparently like essentially these little movements right here was to this women's shelter, which is apparently very anti-trans. Didn't know that. Let's see what. Okay, lush.co.uk. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So here will be, okay, so here will be Lush, the UK version. And I really love Lush products too, so this is actually like real shit. Like last week, literally, guys, I was so excited, because I was getting ready to go buy like these things, these big like snowflake bath bombs, because they always do these really cute like seasonal like bath bombs and bubble bars and stuff. I was super excited for that. And yeah, so that, so then I see this and I'm like what is this? Snow Fairy body spray? And it just says, I want candy. Like, yes, I want that too. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and find, where's their Charity Pot hiding? Why do they don't feature it on their main page? Okay, that's fine. We'll find it. Do you guys see it? Am I like going crazy right now? I feel like I'm missing. This is weird. It's like front and center in the US versions. This is weird. Yeah, it's they're smart. They hid it as soon as the news broke. That makes me worry a little bit if I can't even find it, because like because here we go. Lush USA, right there, front and center on the homepage, right? Lush UK, let's just type it in. Charity. Oh, I can't spell. Don't judge me for that one. Charity pot. Okay, so I found it, but it's not on like their front page or anything, like they like are proudly proclaiming it. So that's a little weird, but okay, we're going to kick Lush from the chat probably. Just Lush UK. I mean, so let's see. So Charity Pot, meet the Charity Pot causes. That's where we want to look, which I'm pretty sure they must have already fixed those. So it says all proceeds from every charity pot sold, minus the sales tax, which goes to the government, are donated to deserving grassroots organizations working to promote human rights, animal welfare, and environmental protection. So here are 6 recently funded groups. Okay, so we have Frack Off, which is fighting fracking. The Retreat Animal Abuse, which is a safety and shelter with positive rehabilitation. Street Paws, which is free vet care and emergency kennel space for homeless people. That's a nice one. Power for People, rapid transition to clean energy, Birmingham People Center, and RRE. Interesting. So this group apparently in the UK, which again, if anyone UK British just familiar with this group, because I am not, Women's Place UK. I don't know too much about it. I literally like read this article and I was just kind of like, whoa, that's real fucked up. Let's take a look at that. That's kind of how this went. So it was done apparently through a charity pot with the special packaging. So while Women's Place UK purports to be a pro-women's organization, its manifesto and its 5 demands to the British government are littered with trans-exclusionary language such as this gem. Government to consult with women's organizations on how self-declaration would impact on women-only services and spaces. The organization has pages and pages on how to improve the lives of women, with special attention given to how this group of largely white Brits can help migrants, the prostituted, Muslims, and women of Northern Ireland. Dear God, that is not the real language, is it? Hold on, I need to look that. That sounds terrible. It sounds like J.K. Rowling would support this shit. Here's their website. Yeah, apparently the prostituted. Yeah, that's like... Okay, that's how we're gonna... here we go. 5 demands. Okay, let's go to their 5 demands. So, respectful and evidence-based discussion about the impact of the proposed changes to the Gender Recognition Act to be allowed to take place and for women's voices to be heard. The principle of women-only spaces to be upheld and, where necessary, extended. A review of how exemptions in the Equality Act, which allow for single-sex services or requirements that only a woman can apply for, such as in a domestic violence refugee, are being applied in practice. Did they change the wording on that, or am I just missing? I don't think I missed it. Government to consult women's organizations on how... I think they changed the wording on that. Am I wrong? This article right here, how old is this one, Ember Coral? This article was published today at 1:29 p.m. So Colorado time, that is about an hour ago, because it's 2:30 right now. Interesting. Just saying. We're still on the prostituted. Yeah, that's totally fucked up. Yeah, so Goddess Sana. My understanding, what their demands are definitely kind of referring to is you have to be a bio woman, a cis woman, to get help from them. Women's Place. But yeah, we'll go back to the article. Apparently this is who Lush donated to, which just looks like, if you were like very surface level, you know what I mean? Like if we're scrolling through this, right, the manifesto, right, and we see economic status, we see an end to violence, harassment, and abuse of women and girls, improved access to healthcare, education and training, law and criminal justice system, representation and participate, like just those little bolded parts, you know what I mean? Right? Like that sounds okay, and I feel like maybe that's what Lush did, was they kind of just like read this first line and they were like, well, that sounds pretty good, we can donate to them. So on the other hand, Lush has run several ad campaigns through their UK and North American branches that feature members of the LGBTQ plus community, and just this month, Lush North America posted about the murders of trans people during Trans Day of Remembrance. The math is not mathing. So here's obviously Lush Cosmetics. This is from their Instagram. So it's just like, how do you like support, like, well, not support this, but how do you bring awareness to this? And then at like the same time, you're just kind of like, lol, no. So in a statement to Pink News, which again, I can't get access to them, but here is how Lush responded, which, as this article says, did not include an apology or an attempt at one. So just brace yourselves for this, okay? So Lush said, in response to finding out about this anti-trans group that they donated to, despite what they claim their values are, they say, "We do not believe that trans rights are a threat to women's rights. Our belief is that a decent society should be able to structure itself to give rights and protection to all who need it." Lush also claims that the grant was given before the company became aware of the toxic discussion around the UK's Gender Recognition Act, which would allow citizens to self-identify. So they claim that this was beforehand. They donated before this supposed, GRA, was a hot button topic in the UK, that they donated to it. But it just seems like when you look at some of the rhetoric in some of the stuff, that like this has kind of been a feeling for a while. They didn't just randomly come out of the woodwork, you know, and they were just like, hey, if you're trans, you're not a real woman. That's not how that happened. Like, there is some language in there that is most certainly interesting. So that's Lush's statement. It wasn't an apology like, holy hell, like, we're so sorry, like, we didn't know, we'll do better, you know, donating money to a pro-trans group or something like this. None of that. It was just this highlighted statement. That was it. So you guys can take that in as you would like. I obviously took it my own way. Everyone's going to take it their own way as well. Obviously, I don't know much about the Gender Recognition Act, but it sounds pretty simple. It would allow citizens to self-identify. Women's Place UK is against the GRA and wrote in a statement to the Scottish government in March 2020, so this is just a couple months ago, unfortunately. We do not support the proposal to shift to a system of self-declaration for those seeking to change their legal sex. Nor do we support the proposal to allow 16 and 17-year-olds to change legal sex. It is our view that no one responding to this consultation can be expected to make a reasonable assessment of what the impact of these proposals will be on women-only spaces, services, and occupations as provided for under Equality Act 2010. So this is, oh gosh, Women's Place UK. This is their stance on why they oppose GRA, which essentially is just like, if you are identifying as a woman now, you can do so, and that's perfectly fine in the UK. That's essentially what that is. And this group vehemently opposes that because they think, in this quote, it says that it will hurt women-only spaces, services, and occupations. And so Lush UK donated money to this group. So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of the heart of this issue, which is why I didn't want to make it a full video, because it is a bit short and to the point, but sometimes, you know, it's honestly not bad for things to be right to the damn point. So now The writer goes on to say that perhaps Lush was genuinely unaware they sent money to an organization with clearly transphobic goals, or maybe they had some mask of magnanimity on their eye and they didn't know they'd hit send on the donation page. Either way, something tells me charity pots won't be flying off the shelves this Christmas season. That's fair. Now again, this was not the USA Lush. This was the UK Lush, which are technically, if I believe, two different companies, but yeah. But you can't like do this shit right here. Let me zoom this out a little bit. You can't do this like on Lush Cosmetics, their main website, or their main Instagram, right? Their big one. And you do this, right? But then you also support and donate to this, you know, like it just, to me in my head, it just doesn't add the fuck up. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it is just fucking me, but this was just confusing. Yeah. All right, let's break it down. I'm going to give you the quick recap here, okay, within like a minute. So there's a group called Women's Place UK, which does not view trans women as women, apparently. Lush UK, the UK version of Lush, donated £3,000 to Women's Place UK as part of their charity pots, which means when you buy their charity pot products in store, portions of those product sales go as a donation to certain charities and nonprofits that they pick. And Lush UK, despite being pro-acceptance and everything like that, donated to a nonprofit that believes in this mentality that's highlighted. That was about 40 seconds. I think I did a good job. Did I sum that up pretty good? I think that's what happened. So, much beloved vegetarian and largely vegan cosmetics company Lush is coming under fire for donating £3,000 to the anti-trans organization Women's Place UK. So, Women's Place UK represents itself as a feminist organization, but in true TERF, which is trans-exclusionary radical feminism form, their version of feminism appears to be centered around fear-mongering and denying trans people their rights. Their manifesto is a list of 5 demands, 4 of which are focused on upholding cis rights, not a thing, of women-only spaces, and speculating on the dangers of self-declaration of gender. Their Facebook page also seems to be nearly entirely dedicated to perpetuating false narratives around detransitioning. Let's take a look at that. Oh boy. Oh, this is from Vox. So it says, with the purchase of every charity pot, we donate 100% of the price minus the taxes to small grassroots organizations that could use the helping hand to continue the incredible work they do. And yeah, this person goes, I wonder which of those categories TERFdom falls into. So, does Lush US benefit Lush UK? There's a part of me that believes that I think that every single, like, I feel like it's a giant umbrella, like there is a big Lush that controls everything, but that they section them into two different companies. But then I think there's like a giant one big Lush company that owns everything. But technically Lush UK is separate from Lush USA. So if you guys buy from Lush USA, you're not supporting the people who technically made these decisions. But if you are in the UK and you buy from Lush, then especially if you bought a charity pot from Lush, it means you may have potentially some of your money went towards this charity. The revelation of the donation came from a financial statement on WPUK's website, and Lush confirmed in a statement to Pink News that it's accurate, although Women's Place is not included on their list of groups that have been supported by charity pot sales. This is something they did but didn't, I guess, publicly say that they were supporting, which I don't know if that makes that any better, to be totally honest. I feel like that doesn't make it any better. It's a little yikesy again. All right, so here we go. Here's the whole Pink News statement thing. So in a statement to Pink News, Lush said it has a policy of not funding campaigning work, discussion, or lobbying on the specifics of proposed changes to the GRA, but that the grant predated our awareness of how toxic discussion around this issue had become, and before we put rules in place around this subject. It's just, again, it's not an apology, which is weird. It's unclear why Lush did not include Women's Place UK on its own public list of grant recipients deemed the group eligible for funding, given its guidelines make clear that it would not fund groups who harbor racism or prejudice, deny the human rights of others, or judge others on anything other than their actions. The company, which did not offer any apology to trans people, added, "To make our stance clear, we do not believe that trans rights are a threat to women's rights." So it's just kind of weird that they would donate to this group, but also not include it, like, while they're being so transparent about everything else, that they just, like, forgot to be transparent about this group. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Miss V Call says, oh my goodness, sorry, there's so many of you guys typing. Okay, so she says, so this is what a Lush US said to me the other day. At Lush Cosmetics, we believe #trans rights are human rights, period. While we can't speak for the funding choices of our UK partners, in North America, we partnered with at Trans Equality and at CCGS, the Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity, to raise $450,000 for trans-led organizations in 2018, #Trans Lives Matter. So then that's good to hear that there is, in fact, a difference between the two, because I was definitely a little confused. So thank you for that clarification as well, Miss V. Call. Oh, I may have found the financial statement. Hold on. Lol, I think I found the financial statement. Hold on. Here we go. We're on their website, WPUK financial statement. This was published 28th of November this year, so this was just a couple days ago. So this movement started in 2017, apparently. Funding, due to COVID, there were no physical meetings, obviously. So we take pride in being a grassroots campaign funded largely by our supporters. The average donation is £24.39. Some people make one-off donations, others make regular contributions. WPUK has also been in receipt of larger sums, and here it is, the £3,000 grant from the Lush charity pot toward event organization. Let me just zoom in on that for y'all. Boom. This is from their website. They don't apparently accept large donations anonymously, so someone here who donated £5,000 is waiting for a year in verification. That's interesting. Yeah, this is the truth is a little something. Okay, so it says the truth may be inconvenient for our detractors, okay? That's pretty much all of us in the stream. But it says something remarkable at the power of the grassroots activism. It may feel as if others better funded and better connected organizations have the upper hand in influencing policymaking and employing political agency. But the work of thousands of people across the UK in many different grassroots groups have demonstrated it is possible to make your voice heard by those in power and assert your rights. So here we go. Let's take a look at their funding statement. So they received as of December 1st, £52,000 this year. So there you go. So is $3,000 a lot to Lush UK? Doubtful. Is $3,000 a lot to WPUK? Yes. It is actually 5.7% of their donations for this year. And that came from Lush, which is weird to say you donated any amount, but that you donated 5.7% of their donations were from you. That's just awkward. It's just awkward. So we welcome this week's announcement by the Minister for Women and Equalities. We are pleased that she has struck a balance between improving the process for obtaining a GRC for trans people and restating the importance of women's sex-based rights. All of our campaigning has been clear that we want everyone to be able to live their life free from harassment or discrimination. Women have worked hard to have our voices heard on issues that affect us. We are pleased that the minister has listened. She has made clear that the law enables single-sex services and protections for women on the basis of biological sex. So that statement is just saying we are pleased that it excludes trans women. So there you go. That's a thing. So we also call on her to make sure all guidance from the Equality and Human Rights Commission to protect providers, commissioners, and employers is a clear and accurate reflection of the law. The same principles should apply to guidance to courts, other public authorities, and media. It is clear that too many women are being obstructed from accessing the services and support we need by the ignorance or intransigence, whatever, of organizations in which need to know the law better. Oh, there, fair play for women. Okay. There it is. Okay, cool. There's that connection made. Gross. Yeah, this is all just a yikes on trike. So hashtag sex matters. So this is a tweet. That means there's a tag for it. That means there might be idiots to find. Your feet.